Hey guys, welcome to another video with me, Coach Matt. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit about how to defend against a fried liver attack. Now, the fried liver attack is something that we have discussed before, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to go into a little bit more detail about what we want to be on the lookout for and the best way that we can defend against this attack. There's also a nice little trick in there that I'm quite interested in sharing with you guys that you can maybe use against your opponents if they try this attack on you. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, guys, so the fried liver attack, as we've come to realize, is quite a powerful little option that white has in the e4, e5 system. So most of the time, this becomes an Italian game with white going bishop c4 and black going bishop c5. I have actually recommended in previous discussions that I like bishop c5 as an option, and that if you do play bishop c5, you can prevent white, from going knight g5, because knight g5 is immediately countered by this queen g5 move. So there's no fried liver if black plays bishop c5 on move 3, which is my recommendation going forward. But a lot of people like the two knights and want to try and get this knight in as quickly as possible, attacking this pawn. Of course, white can still just defend with d3 or knight c3 to defend the e4 pawn. And then we continue with either bishop c5, which is a good option. Alternatively, bishop e7, also quite a good option here. And then it's just sort of normal developing moves. White develops both the knight, the bishop, and castles. And black does pretty much the same thing, castles with d6, and then developing the light squared bishop either to e6 or to g4. Let's backtrack a little bit. So after bishop c4, we've got knight f6, we've got knight g5. Enter the fried liver. I'm going to promote this variation so that it's our main variation here. Fried liver, and we know from past discussions, knight f7 is very menacing. It attacks both queen and rook, and we lose quite a bit of material in this variation if we're not very, very careful. So as previously discussed, you have to go d5. It's literally the only way to defend the f7 square by going here. So we block, or we cut off the line of the bishop from this f7 square. So this pretty much forces white to take on d5. It doesn't really feel like there's any other decent options. And the move I wanted to share with you is knight a5. I have recommended this in one previous discussion, but now we're going to go into some bit of detail. And that's really the main purpose of this video. So we are hitting the bishop on c4. I think really bishop b3 is quite average. I think I would probably knight b3 and then knight d5 with queen attacking on g5. Alternatively, queen d5 also looks quite good, but it feels like maybe white can just castle. It's a constructive move, and they solve this g2 problem. So probably just reflecting, we go knight d5. Back to knight a5. So the main move in this position, if of course they just trotted the bishop back to e2, you sort of don't have any of this danger anymore. And then again, just remove this d5 pawn with the tempo on the knight. And if this knight can always come back into the game at a later stage, so he's comfortable. I mean, let's say knight f3, for instance. I'm looking at e4 strongly, but maybe just knight comes back to c6, defending the pawn. And it feels like black has got a slightly better game here. Nothing major, but a good position. Back to knight a5, bishop b5 check. So this is what we wanted to discuss here, c6. So we want to get a lot of go forward here in this position. So this, again, pretty much forces white to take this. So d takes c, b takes c. And again, I'm going to promote this variation to the main variation here. Bishop a4, quite a common move, mainly to keep the pressure here. So you've got to be a little bit careful because this knight is holding everything together. You can see if the knight's not here, then suddenly it's check. You're dropping a rook. Very, very scary stuff. h6. attacking the knight and sort of just shooing the knight. Please go away, knight. You're causing us some trouble here, and we would like you to just go away. Alternatively, if you do not, we'll be happy to take you for free. Knight h3, always a little bit suspect. I think, obviously, I'm strongly considering bishop h3, but there is this in-between move of bishop g4. Main thing is I want them to play f3, because f3 is just a terribly weakening move. All these dark squares, you can see if the king was hoping to castle, this diagonal is going to be a big target, juicy target. So bishop h3, gh3, and now I'm looking at maybe getting the queen here. I'm looking at bishop here. So a number of good options lurking here for black, and I think this position is very, very strong for black. Going back to h6, knight f3, as opposed to knight h3, we know knight on the edge of the board, very often no good. So knight heads back to f3, and with purpose, attacking the e5 pawn. This makes sense now, as we looked at earlier. Remember, when the central pawns are not there, a lot of the time you will look to push your pawns and probe a little bit, irritate your opponent, attack, go forward. You know, chess is about attacking, and if you get the opportunity to attack, of course, seize that opportunity. Okay, so knight g1 maybe has to be played here. I know that sounds like crazy talk, but I think it's the best move. Knight h4 is just losing a piece. Again, with the knights, always look, where is the knight going next? None of these squares will be available. So if you played knight h4, g5 just wins the piece. The knight's just dropping, and this definitely can't be recommended for white. So knight g1, I think it's the best move. I don't think anybody would ever play that move, but it's the best move nevertheless. So knight e5, I'll promote this variation just so that that's the main one on our analysis here. And now we got two unprotected pieces that are within reach. So here, this could be a little puzzle or like a tactic for you guys. I know we do our tactics, and we do try and make sure that we stay sharp and that we seize our opportunities whenever they present themselves over the board. And this is one of those. So queen d4, a classic double attack with the queen, hitting both the knight and the bishop. So knight c6, you might be thinking, hey, but if he takes back, I take with check, and we're back to that story again where white wins the rook. But of course, black's just going to grab the bishop on a4, and that's just a free piece. Knight takes, queen takes, and black's just a piece up, and massive advantage. Heading back to queen d4. Alternatively, there's bishop c6 with check, then there's knight c6, knight c6. And again, queen c5, trapping the knight. Again, where is the knight going next? Well, he's got no available exit squares, and that's going to be him dropping. So maybe he needs to grab something. At least if you're going to lose a piece, try to at least get something out of it. It's debatable whether we should go rook takes or queen takes. Probably just queen takes. And now the bishop can maybe come out, and we can start looking at new squares. All right, guys, so I'd like it very much if you played through this video and maybe just even made the moves on the board, just so that you can really try and make sure that you understand what we're talking about here and some of these ideas, so that you can use them in your own games when people try these tricks against you, and you have some nice weaponry ready and waiting for them. You know, you learn some tricks of your own that you can use on your opponents that can help you to win some games. Okay, so I'd recommend strongly that you guys go through this again, play through the video, maybe pause it, check out some things, move some pieces around, investigate the positions, until you're confident that you've absolutely learned this new idea and locked it into the brain. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.